I'm actually going to spend a little time reading this poem for you in a minute. But first things first. What else? There's another one that is called, if it says, please reply, then I want you to reply. I think it's under Sherman Alexie. Please reply how we F up. Let's click on it. Why not? There it is. I bet these guys are, is that Iowa or is that Colorado? I was thinking it was up somewhere up in Canada, but never mind. Let's have a look. I believe this is a poem by an anonymous Indian poet. It doesn't say who he is. Wow, those guys look totally drunk. How we F up, not why we F up. So I'm going to read this to you. I got to hit Control Plus for a second to make it bigger. There, nice and big. Here we go. How We F Up by Anonymous Indian Poet. This is not racism. This is not religion. It's what I have seen. A lot of it in my own family. A couple of which I might have done myself, but I ain't telling. I'll keep this PG-13 so as not to drop any F-bombs and have my father come and wash my mouth out with soap. But it seems like we Indians are nations of F-ups. No, it's not religion, but we do these things religiously. Get drunk, blow off class, flunk, get expelled, borrow or steal cars, then crash them. Get grants and student loans, then take the money and run. Sober up, borrow more money for school, then gamble it away. Get drunk, get into fights, go to jail, get drunk, grab guns, shoot ourselves between the eyes, or, if not, get drunk, beat our spouses, beg forgiveness, get forgiven, get drunk, beat our spouses again, beg forgiveness again, repeat, repeat, repeat. Get drunk, neglect our children, have them taken away. Get them back, get drunk, wander off naked in the snow while precious bodies freeze forever in deep blue sleep. Or snag at Pow-Wows, get her pregnant, or get pregnant, then run away, creating new generations of F-ups to keep the drums beating. It seems we are nations and nations of F-ups, eternally condemning ourselves to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, always at the last minute, right before graduation or Pulitzer or Nobel. We F up and curse what's in the mirror. Yikes. All right, I'm going to shrink this down. 100. Because it's dinky writing here. That is a poem that says, please reply. So you're supposed to click on it. There it is. Only one person looks like Bei Xueling is the only one who has replied. So I need more people to talk, more people to discuss. Let's go back to the next item here. It says there is a poem called The Pow-Wow. And I have it preloaded for you. And I even have some illustrations. I tried to do this before, and I crashed and burned miserably. So I went, and this is a retake. This is like take 2. There we go. Now, as I show you these photos, you see, some of them are AI illustrations, and some are actual illustrations of the Chumash Pow-Wow. These up here are AI. This is the tourists who come. And maybe later, some other time, I'll show you a map. It's a really tiny, itty-bitty Indian reservation in Santa Ynez, California, up in the mountains over Santa Barbara. And I might have mentioned it before, but it does bear repeating. That is, it's a teeny tiny piece of land, not much bigger than our college campus. And they stuck all these Indians there and expected them to just, die off or something. But instead, the Indians kind of cleaned up the place and they built a small casino. And then people from the nearby town of Santa Ynez came and started spending their money. But enough of that. But every year they have a powwow
And this powwow, and it attracts a lot of Californians because this is California after all, land of fruits and nuts and Indian worshippers and wannabes and twinkle bunnies and pretendians. And so we get lots of hippies who love Indians. Sometimes I call them Indian worshippers. They'll show up in their VW bugs and their VW vans to come and ogle the Indians. And then we got people who will show up almost like, I don't know, to capitalize, to be culture vultures, and they'll set up booths and pretend to be Indians, and they'll sell stuff to the powwow people. Then we got people who come to snag, who like these, I don't like to use the term liberal, but I don't know what else to say. They wear, what do they call it? Dreadlocks. And they show up at the powwows and they flirt with the native girls. And then we've got some more tourists, and these are all the tourists at the powwow. The Indians here trying to do their thing. Um, and then this is an actual photo of a girl with a teepee and a buffalo robe. I thought that was beautiful and very poignant. The look on her face is like half irritated, but still proud anyway. Here is an eagle bone whistle or eagle bone flute, which we'll talk about in the poem. There's actual, I believe these guys are getting ready to pray. This is from Grand Entry. This is the actual Chumash res itself. Again, it's not very big. Here are some real Chumash dancers, and they don't traditionally have drums. They have something called clap sticks, and this is a newer version. They used to use something that looked almost like bamboo, but they called it elderberry branches, and they would clap, 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 clap. Instead of drums, it was a clap, clap, clap noise they used to do, and they still do. But in the old days, they didn't have red-tailed hawk feathers around their waist. They actually had grass skirts that they used to wear. And the Plains people, when they came to the intertribal powwow, they laughed at those poor Chumash Indians, and the Chumash got all mad about it and bent out of shape. And they said, "Fine, we'll just wear eagle feathers around our waists." So that's what that's about. There's a little bit of grass you can see mixed in there because they're still trying to honor their tradition. Again, a lot of you guys might not know what a powwow is. That's one reason why I'm showing this, because you never know who might be watching these videos. It's made for our class, but I put it up on YouTube, which means anybody can see it. One of the early things that happens in a lot of powwows is something called a gourd dance, and this is usually for Indian veterans. The old days, we used to use real gourds. Some of us still do. But a lot of times, the newer tradition is to use these weird salt shakers and drill a hole in it, put some beans or something inside. It's a gourd dance rattle. And it's usually veterans. Does that guy do Vietnam? I can't really tell. But he looks like he's a Pueblo or a Navajo Indian. Here is a real Chumash elder. That's what their headdresses look like. They usually use flicker feathers or red-tailed hawk feathers and abalone shells and lots of other seashells, because these guys are right on the shore of the Pacific Ocean originally until the newcomers came along and drove them up into the mountains. That's an AI depiction of an elder there. He looks kind of miffed, and I will explain in the poem, which I will read right now. I'm going to come over here, though, because I want to do this properly. So you don't see my face, but look at the illustrations, which are actually more important. I'll do my best, because sometimes I mess up when I try to read. Let me move this over here and pull this way up here like that. And we're going to start. And we're going to make this bigger. There it is, the powwow. The Pow-Wow by the Anonymous Chumash writer. Today the Chumash powwow calls, and folks respond in caravans, forsaking grander city malls to shake their conquered brothers' hands. And many come from distant lands with hunger for exotic arts. Their sacred pilgrimage demands fulfillment
and the tribe imparts. Observe now as our ceremony starts. Great rolling Winnebago trains like buffalo not want to wait. They thunder cross the infant plains discharging piles of human freight. This clan looks forward to this date. Each year they gaily praise it, for no one can appreciate fine art like those who raise it. Undaunted, culture proud, the tribe displays it. Arriving in his peace mobile, let's show, there he is, which also serves as one fine pad, comes Ivan Paisley with no will to win the job he never had. Instead, he travels flower-clad across the Redlands learning them. Why shouldn't he when his dear dad owns half the stock in IBM? The Twinkle Bunny is what the tribes call him. Be clad in purple pall and gold, with bonnet like a triple crown, ex-wived by 3 red men old, forth stepping with a mighty bound, comes dainty Gladys nice and round to sell some whistles of the Sioux that make a queer and crying sound, and stimulate the dancers too. Her servants bring her throne, a fine church pew. Descending from his stately place, the blond, blue-eyed Chief Joseph see. He reaps his grandmother's sweet grace, who was full-blooded Cherokee. This noble lord from sea to sea, from sea to sea, in princely prance through life has met a maid from each ethnicity, but never with a red one yet. So he sets forth to have his scepter wet. Upon her noble steed she goes, a little maid of 3 or 4, with pudgy fingers up her nose, her daddy's shoulders never sore. With their minds bent on seeing more, straight toward my teepee they do stir, exploring, peeking through my door. Excuse me, but I live here, sir. And he, that's okay, ma'am, just showing her. So booths are posted, wares are sold, and floating dollar bills descend, and greedy ones outbid the bold before they let the dance begin. Grand entry marchers gambol in and entertain the crowd with ease. For whistles every now and then the reverent stompers seem to freeze, as if they have some spirit to appease. To superstitious Indians, a small flute is a godly thing. When anyone to blow begins, no drummers drum, no singers sing, and dancers stop within the ring to honor such a silly sound. They think ignoring it will bring misfortune and disgrace around, and sometimes they will even kiss the ground. The gourd dance is a special treat. It always seems to steal the show. Respect for them folks have to show. There it is. Let me see. Wait. I messed it up. The gourd dance is a special treat. It always seems to steal the show. Some Vietnam vets keep the beat with old code talkers Navajo. Respect for them folks have to show by standing hatless and away. But children dashing to and fro let vernal airs through woodlands play. Respect from Gladys in the cutest way. The sanguine sky shows night is nigh. In love, now finally the day is done. The sanguine sky shows night is nigh. In love with dreams American, folks pack their wares and kids and fly.
As in a whirlwind they swish by, like seagull flocks no longer fed, while tribal elders wonder why we do this, and then go to bed. And as they spy their littered earth with dread. So there's my poem. Well, whoever wrote this poem, the Anonymous Chumash Indian writer, that's the poem and I'm sticking to it. So you can see I described this to AI and had AI draw these last few images and why he doesn't look so happy there. That guy doesn't look very happy either. And this very much looks like the Chumash Res. It's way up in kind of semi-arid desert area. And even has those weird, I guess you call them ironwood trees or whatever they're called. And you can see the people looking not too happy about the pollution that the tourists have left behind. Now, I don't want to tell you how to interpret this poem. That's your job. I apologize for my misreadings and tripping over my tongue, but that's the nature of the beast. That's what happens when you get old or you get tongue-tied. Now, what else do I need to bother you with? Quickly. There it is right there above the monster thing. This is a special treat I posted for you called Journey of the Healer. When you get some time, have a look. It's a cute poem, a cute video, a cute cartoon, and very poignant by Stephen Sisseton or Stephen Sanderson. His real name is Kiwatin. He's in our textbook. Have a look at it. He's got lots of cartoons that he likes to draw. So I'm going to get rid of that. I said close. That's cool, isn't it? That's his drawing. Freehand. So we're going to stop that there. Have a look at that. But this, Tommy Orange is there. This is a novel, you see. Let's click on it again so you can see what I'm talking about. That's what the novel looks like. This guy is Cheyenne Arapaho. He's an urban Indian. And I believe one of you actually wrote about him in your midterm and you got full credit. Isn't that awesome? So right on. I got to quit talking. I've already gone 24 minutes. So I'm going to knock it off here and wish you guys an awesome weekend. And I'll see you next week. Talk to you later.